boom, doo 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 doo. Watch it. Watch it. Every time I was in LA, I was with my ex. Was out doing my dirt. Think about you getting hurt. Man in the Beverly. Terence Crawford got some confession. Wow. New shocking news about Terence Crawford. Now, this is his personal life. If you don't want to hear about issues that aren't directly in the ring, I don't care, because you're a liar, because you seen what this video was about and you clicked on it. Yo, it is so funny. I love being a content creator. You have so many people that act high and mighty, like, oh, this is not about boxing. I care about the squared circle. Ego, why are you talking about this? Let him be. But the same idiots is commenting and clicking on the video. So what made you click on the video if it wasn't your cup of tea? So you're a liar. Don't try to act like you're above it, because if you really were above it, you would stay away from content like this if you wanted to. Moving on. So information is out that Terence Crawford, he had to explain to his BM, the mother of his 6 children, that he's having a 7th child by another woman. Right? Now, for the record, because I don't want anything to be misconstrued. And when you're talking about people's personal lives and things like that, when that comes into the fray, people be like, oh man, don't snitch. Shut up. This was talked about on Club Shay Shay, brought up by Shannon Sharp when Terence Crawford was a guest. And the question, this is how anybody even knows about this. So don't act like your boy Ego did some investigative journalism and hired a private eye, trying to pry in my business, hired a private eye trying to pry in my business and leak this information. This is public knowledge at this point. If you go on a podcast and he's asking you about your home front, your home situation, and what it was like having to tell your BM, your ex-girl, whatever the status is about you having a new kid, right? And I thought about it because sometimes, like, I would think about certain topics and I'm like, man, do I want to cover that on the channel? But again, these are celebrities and everybody else gets to talk about it. I'm a content creator. Let your boy Ego, let him get a say, because although it doesn't have anything to do with Terence Crawford's ability or skill, he's still a hard worker. He still trains hard. He's still undefeated, right? All these things are true. However, there is something to be said when you are getting ready to fight Canelo Alvarez, and this move seems to be a shocker to a lot of people, and it really kind of seems uncharacteristic of Terence Crawford. Let me explain. Now, you never know people's personal life and things like that. I get that. However, Terence Crawford seemed to be, I'm just talking about the appearance. I don't know if people are divorced, separated, in an open relationship. I don't know. I don't know what people's deals are. But I'm saying from the optics, the outside looking in, it looked to be that Terence Crawford was in a committed relationship, maybe not married, but if you live with someone and have 6 kids with them, I believe legally you can be considered married, or at least in some states. I don't know how it works in Omaha, but in California, I believe you're considered married pretty much, right? Under certain terms, right? You file certain W-2s, you got mad kids together, blah, blah, blah. So it is what it is. So from the outside looking in, I thought Terence Crawford was kind of committed, like almost like a high school sweetheart type of thing. So a lot of people on the page, they are leaving comments and they're like, this is wrong. She held you down, blah, blah, blah. My man, Big Donch, he says, I know y'all like to bash women, but this is sad on Bud's part. Ditch the woman you have 6 kids with that's been with you from the beginning, you know? And it is what it is. Some people are going to judge it and say like, I don't think that's right. She held you down when you weren't this big. Now you making all this money, right? You getting a turkey bag, obviously the Errol Spence bag, and now you're about to get the Canelo bag, and you're acting brand new. That's what it looks like to the naked eye. And the timing just seems very weird. Like, you seen Crawford in a different light almost, because Crawford was, it looked like they had a happy family, going to his kids' games, stuff like that. You never know. You never really know behind the scenes what's going on. But I'm just saying, from the optics, it looks like y'all were solid. You know what I mean? And then now you get this fight with Canelo and you're gaining all this weight. You're fighting in a division you said you couldn't fight in previously. You're fighting Canelo, and now suddenly you have a 7th kid on the way that people weren't aware of. You were in some relationship. You're showing up to events with different women, and that's cool. That's your personal life, but the public will judge you when you're a celebrity, and it does look uncharacteristic of Bud that he got all this stuff going on. And it does relate to boxing, because on top of moving up, developing your power, developing your frame, you got stuff like this. You got people judging you, people looking at your life, it's just a lot comes with it. And it makes you appreciate Floyd Mayweather, how Floyd Mayweather was able to compartmentalize everything. Now it looks like the money might be getting to Bud Crawford, possibly, where he's maybe in a different tax bracket now after the Errol Spence fight, and then getting the Canelo fight, this range of fights. And now he's like feeling himself, and money doesn't change people. It only amplifies what's there. But when he was with Top Rank, I don't think he was making this type of money that he's probably been making at the back half of his career. And then now the decision making seems different. That's what it appears to me. So it is important when people have all these things behind the scenes going on. How are you going to respond in ring? So far, Bud's been able to compartmentalize his personal life and still perform. But I don't recall a time where he had to fight someone that was bigger, fight someone that's powerful like Canelo, fight someone with like, not a, I guess, scandal. I don't know a better way to say it right now, but a scandal going on right now where you have, the mother of your 6 kids and you're about to have a 7th with somebody separate. That just seemed like out of nowhere, like almost like a midlife crisis. When people go through midlife crisis and things change and that kind of thing, that's what it kind of seems like. It seems like almost like a different person. Like, I knew people, they get to a certain age, they never had a tattoo or never drank. And then all of a sudden, the person who never wanted to drink and they were 30 years old or something, never had a drink of alcohol, and then now they're getting blackout drunk, right? I knew people like that. Or they're 40 and they never had a tattoo, never had any piercing. Now all of a sudden they getting tatted up in arm sleeves. To be honest, it is what it is, but some of these things do seem a bit weird when they seem out of character. Like, it seems like if you were the type to drink, you would probably have a drink before you turn 35 or whatever. Why would you start getting sloppy drunk at age 35? It kind of seems, it seems a bit bizarre. So, such is life. It is maybe disappointing to some because Crawford seemed to have a whole family, and then now he got this. So it is what it is. Will it affect the Canelo fight? I guess we'll have to wait and see. They are doing a press conference this Friday, and that is the news. Subscribe if you like boxing content, straightforward, direct, real opinions, not no bullshit, not no clickbait. Click here.